Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda, otherwise known as the LA Doula. Thank you so much for hearing my story today. I hope it can help some of you. I got married when I was 33, and I had my first daughter at the age of 34. I didn't really know much about getting pregnant or even paid attention to it, but I was super ecstatic, got pregnant easily. I had a beautiful birth at a birth center, and I really fell in love with the whole world of birth and doula work. About a year after I had my first child, I woke up in the middle of the night with really bad cramps. I mean, really bad. Soon I was bleeding and I was so confused. I texted my midwife and told her what was happening, and she basically just bluntly said, "You're having a miscarriage." I couldn't even fathom that I would be someone who would be having a miscarriage. It made no sense to me. My husband was out of town. It's his 30th birthday. It was just horrible timing. I was pretty much alone while I was dealing with the first week of this because of him being out of town. And, I just laid on the couch and cried and tried to get through it. Once that was done, we were ready to try to have another child. But unfortunately, I had another miscarriage. At this point, I was wondering what was going on, but I heard that it was common, so we didn't do too much research. I soon got pregnant again and I was ecstatic. This time the baby was staying and I was staying pregnant. I had ultrasounds with beautiful heartbeats and I did the NPT test, which I'm sure some of you know what that is. But if not, it's a test where they take your blood and they tell you the gender and if your baby has any trisomies. Ecstatic to find out that we were pregnant with a boy, and then sad to find out he had trisomy 13. At the time, I did all kinds of research and I convinced myself that it was a false positive. So we just waited. His ultrasounds were fine. The growth was fine. Everything was fine. We went to Disneyland even for our anniversary. We did a photo announcement where we took the pictures in front of the castle. Every picture I have from that, I'm about 4 months pregnant. I went to an ultrasound checkup with my midwife when we got back and there was no heartbeat. They sort of just left me in the room. I was alone. My husband was at work. We just thought it was going to be a simple checkup. So I sat there alone and cried my freaking eyes out. Later, I went to the specialist because they had me go to ultrasounds at a specialist as well. There was officially no heartbeat, and so I had to have a D&C because I was so far along. And so I went in, sitting in a room with all these people that were getting all kinds of surgeries that had nothing to do with losing their babies. I stayed awake because I just don't like drugs. And because I stayed awake, I knew exactly what happened during the procedure. And I also ended up talking to one of the nurses at my shoulder. This nurse found out I was a doula, and we sort of had a conversation about how doulas could be used so much more for women who are suffering these types of surgeries and pregnancy loss. It inspired me to make bags called comfort bags that I would take to hospitals and different places where women might be experiencing pregnancy loss. And they were filled with simple things like lavender oil, chapstick, comforting words. And that started my journey on becoming a doula, to be honest. So at first I was a lost doula and wanting to help and reach out to this very untapped group of women. For some reason, miscarriage still to this day carries this very strange stigma that it's the woman's fault. Unfortunately, I would have 2 more miscarriages after that for a total of 5. I could easily get pregnant, but I could not stay pregnant. I went to a doctor to find out what was going on, and I didn't want IVF. I just wanted to know why. She checked my thyroid. My levels were not ideal, and so she put me on Synthroid. I got pregnant again. I stayed pregnant, and at this point, I was 39 years old. I'm happy to announce that I did stay pregnant with that pregnancy. And I had a beautiful baby girl during COVID when no one could be around for postpartum. I had her at home in 5 hours, and she weighed almost 10 pounds, and she was 22 inches long. So that girl had been waiting. I just want to say it's okay to not want to keep going, and it's okay to want to keep going. It's okay to forgive yourself. It's okay to be angry, and it's okay to come to a place where you're almost thankful to yourself because your body knew what to do with your pregnancies. There are so many amazing facts about being pregnant. One being that the genes stay inside of you, of the babies you were pregnant with. Let me explain. They've found DNA of a boy in a mother's brain who never had a boy but was pregnant with a boy. So that boy's DNA stayed with her for the rest of her life. And your babies are with you. It's okay to name your babies. It's okay to talk to your babies. It's okay to love your babies even though you've never met them. I do believe that we will meet our babies again one day. In heaven, I'm going to need a very big house for my 7 children. I will never quite understand on this earth why those children didn't come to me in the timing that I thought they would. I do know is I would never have Aurora if I wouldn't have had those losses. And Aurora is the light of my life, my best friend, complete joy. It's so amazing to think that she has been with me for my 40 years of life. She is a complete blessing to my family.